Greetings everybody, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the setup of this series, please use YouTube chapters. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey is a game where you survive your evolution starting 10 million years ago as a third-person open-world survival game where you explore, expand, and evolve to advance your clan to the next generation. The world is fraught with dangers, and you and your tribe must adapt to overcome to thrive in a prehistoric Africa. I am playing with no mods, not that there are many, on first time game mode with total HUD. Here in the game, I'm starting a new lineage, which is your evolutionary line. I'm just going to call it stream. First time includes some sort of tutorial and cinematic aspects, which I want included in this run. And then I want to talk a little bit about HUD. Arguably, the game is more immersive with almost no HUD. But for viewer inclusion, I'm going to have the total HUD so that you can understand more of what's going on. And on top of that, I also have overlays for maps and progress that isn't part of the native game, which is this. So if I ever show that, no, it's not actually included in the game. I'm adding it for your benefit. Random gender, I don't really care. I guess I'm male. And let's start. And I'm going to disappear here once the cinematics really kick off. Regain safety in a hiding spot or in your clan's settlement. So if you hit E, is used to identify stuff around you, like hiding spots or settlements. And we need to hide somewhere. So I'm going to head to the hiding spot over in this direction. Helix. A good name for a game about genetics. Thank you for the resub. This game is terrifying? Sometimes it is. Alright, I'm going to memorize that location. You can use your intelligence to memorize a specific location in order to burn it in. And that helps to leave it up on your screen. It's not predator vision, it's prey vision. Yes, this is what the game considers like panic mode. And there we go. Oops, wrong button. Alright, so what we just did there was we put the youngin into a hiding spot. And now we have swapped to an adult of the tribe. And we are trying to find that youngster. And we can find them with echolocation. Tap Q to use your senses to help locate members of your tribe. And there we go. We found a hiding spot with a baby in it. Now that we're here, we can comfort the kid by calling out to it. So there will be a bit of a call and response. And if you respond too quickly, you actually panic the child. So you gotta time it right. Join your clan in the settlement. So if you want to find your way back home, you can hit E. And right there is the current clan settlement. And I'm going to remember where it is. And our current objective is to go back home. Now, this is the map, and I am roughly in the lower left corner of that map where the red circle is. That's where we are right now. The map is not procedurally generated, it is static. And your starting location, unless you have a customized game, is always going to be the same. So if we enter the intelligence vision again, the location of our tribe hasn't yet to be discovered, and that will be one of our first discoveries in just a moment. I'm also going to eat some leaves here. So I'm going to inspect these leaves. And eat them. And these leaves provide a benefit that protects from bone damage and from cold. And then the act of like grabbing stuff and inspecting it increases our motricity, which is sort of like hand dexterity and leg dexterity. All right, let's get back up to our tribe. Now there's stamina in this game. If you see that circle right there, that green circle is like our health. And as it depletes, you'll see a yellow circle, which is our stamina. And when the well, I'll talk about that in a moment. All right. So back to what I was saying. The green bar is sort of your health or wellness, which is your life expectancy. This is what the pop-up is. And it reduces if you're poisoned, injured, or exhausted. And it's limited to your avatar's age. So if you don't eat, drink, or become too exhausted, your life expectancy goes down. And it refills by eating, drinking, or sleeping. But essentially, if you do something that absolutely exhausts you, or like you're bleeding for too long, your maximum amount of energy and stamina will essentially go down. So you initially deplete your energy, and then when your energy is gone, you deplete your stamina, and when your stamina is gone, you deplete your life expectancy. So for instance, if we jumped into the ocean and started swimming, you would slowly deplete your energy, then you would deplete your stamina, and then instead of drowning, you would deplete your life expectancy until you died. So if you swim for too long, you will live a shorter life, in other words. Okay. The game will inform us of this mechanic soon, but right now it wants us to build a sleeping spot. And before I build a sleeping spot, let's analyze the area around us first. Having children nearby allows the accumulation of energy, your neuron gain. So it is in your best interest to carry children with you at all times, 2 children, as that will have you learn better. All right, let's go and analyze our environment. So I'm going to grab one of these leaves and hold Q to inspect it. And this is cycad grass. And now that I've identified it, I'm just going to drop it right here. And you can stockpile identical items together. So if I walk over with more, I can add it to the pile. And walk over with even more, I can add it to the pile. And if you do this enough times, with some things, like the grass, you can actually build a bed. Not that we're very good at building beds, but there we go. A sleeping spot on the ground. And this was a new construction discovery that we just made. However, we had 2 sleeping spots already made here, but I just discovered the action of building. Now, before I form a couple, what I want to do is I want to analyze some of our surroundings. So this is horsetail that we can eat. And it provides some bone benefit. All right, let's take a look at some dead limbs. This is a dead branch. And I'm going to drop it on the ground for now. We got some berries, and we'll eat some. And now, if I analyze the area around us, anything that we've previously identified can be spotted, like the grasses, the dead branches, the sleeping spots. And this allows us to understand our surrounding environment better. It also makes us able to learn. And I'll talk about the learning mechanic when it becomes relevant. I'm not going to be jumping ahead too far. So what I'm trying to do is just analyze our surrounding environment so I can see what is at our disposal. So there's some things that we still don't know what they are, and it's worth analyzing all the stuff within our starting location to expand our knowledge. So here we go. Pick up a rock and inspect it. And it is a granite rock. I'm going to inspect the water. And this is a gathering spot for fish that we just identified. Okay, so pretty much everything within our home has been identified at this point. But what we actually call our home has not yet been discovered. So let's do that. The Hidden Waterfall Oasis. Essentially in this game, anything labeled Oasis is a place that is a good spot for a settlement. It's a landmark on the map that would be a good spot for, you know, beds and whatnot. You don't have to settle oases only, but I would advise it. Okay, we discover the jungle's hidden waterfall oasis. And for some reason or another, because of that cutscene, I am not home at the moment, but it is getting late at night. So what I'm going to want to do is to get back home. And for that, I'm just above. Emotions and dopamine. Dopamine level tempers fear and is refilled by doing gratifying activities, and emotive state, which is there. Basically, if things are too scary, you will panic and you will lose control of your character, and things will go real wrong real fast. You gotta be quite careful. Okay, food discovery of a cocoa. I'm gonna shake it. Shake the tree. All right, let's keep doing some discovery stuff. We got a gathering spot for a beehive. And our home is just below. There is fall damage in this game, but it's like not a lot of fall damage. You can survive quite the fall, so I could jump down there no problem. And I'm just doing some more identification here. Now, if we come back down and lay in a bed, we can drop the children off we have here. We can sleep. Right now it's like 9 p.m. and sleeping is important to keep your health up. Or we can look at the evolutionary tree. So let's do the evolution real quick. So there's going to be a lot going on here, and I'll try to explain as best as I can. You can assign neuronal energy to connect neurons and develop your lineage's capabilities. Grow the neurons you want when they've matured enough to receive energy. Neuronal energy is accumulated by doing actions when kids are around. Meaning, keep kids on you, you get to learn. A neuron will lose its energy at the passing of a generation if it hasn't been locked in by a reinforcement. So, if we take a look here, we could learn motor skill, the ability to switch hands with an item equipped, which leads to 5 other things. We could learn memory. The range for detection of non-edible resources is increased. So let's say we learn motor skill. In the center here, this is the neuronal energy that we've accumulated, and we can, once we have more energy saved up, you can unlock new things with it. But those things don't get kept between generations. The way you keep things between generations is to reinforce the lineage's new capabilities with reinforcements. So the way this works is your current generation will build up neurons for new tasks, and you gain reinforcement points, and I'll explain the reinforcement points in a little bit. You reinforce those neurons so that you lock them in, and then you pass a generation to keep those learned skills. So, if you don't, let's say you learn 20 things in the neuron tree, but you only reinforce 6, when you pass a generation, only those 6 get kept. So when you pass a generation, you will forget 14 of those 20 and keep the 6. So this is the generation tree. And then there is the evolution tree, which it's probably too early to really talk about this, but this is progressing through the era and becoming essentially a different species or something. Okay, so now we can, because we just unlocked If we take a look at this again, we just unlocked motor skill, and we just unlocked memory. Let's do stuff with motor skill, shall we? So I'm going to pick up this stick and switch hands. And then I can hold spacebar to alter it. And I just ripped the smaller branches off the stick and learned stripping. And no, not that kind of stripping. And we can do that to a lot of things. Like I can do that to horsetail. Just because we know how it works does not mean we're good at it, however. So it might take some trial and error. And that is totally normal for unreinforced skills that we aren't very good at to fail frequently. And there we did. We managed to do it that time, whereas we failed the previous times. And then we can inspect what we've done. And this is horsetail leaves, instead of just horsetail. And in this case, we can apply it directly on our skin as like a poultice, instead of eating it. And this provides bleeding protection, which is right above my head. Let's try rocks. So now we have 2 granite rocks. And we just created a new alteration. We modified the rocks, and let's discover what we have now. We have a granite grinder. Something that is good at grinding things down. And we can drop this off over here. Let's try another alteration. I'm going to grab that same rock. Grab a stick. Oh, let's inspect the stick first. Because it's not a dead branch anymore. We have modified it to become a stick. And this is a stick. And we can further alter the stick by sharpening it. And it doesn't necessarily mean we're good at this, mind you. And that darkening of the screen was a reminder that we're tired. So I'll need to sleep soon. And there we go. Let's inspect this stick. And it is now a sharpened stick, which is essentially a weapon. I'm going to lie down and check out the evolution now. And here, we have discovered item manipulation. Once connected, the ability to transfer an item to the other hand while moving rather than standing is possible. So, if you take a look at our neuronal energy, it has grown because we've learned more. And I'm going to hold left mouse button on this node and learn item manipulation. Which then leads to 2 unknown things and this, which is handling. Once connected, it will be possible to drop an item while moving. Let's learn that too. Now, if we were to pass a generation, none of these skills would be locked in and kept. That requires enforcement, or reinforcements. And right now, we have 2 reinforcement points. And reinforcement points are gained different ways. You can gain them by having children, or you can gain them by discovering something very specific. I'm not going to spoil it just yet. And what you want to be doing is learning new skills and reinforcing them, and then passing them down generationally. That is like one of the core aspects of the game. Now, I don't need to reinforce things until I'm ready to pass a generation, and I'm not ready to pass a generation right now. So instead, what I'm going to do is just sleep. Good old-fashioned go to sleep. Have some dreams. Dreaming about intimidating something, dreaming about discovering some sort of food. Alright, daily regiment update. We need to drink some water. Let's over to the water. Oh, what did I just grab? Oh, a coconut. Alright, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to scoop up some of the water and drink it. Or first, I'm going to inspect it. Because there's different types of water, by the way. This is a freshwater source, and we can drink. And you'll know when you're done drinking when that circle there stops gaining colors. It goes from yellow to green or does not keep filling. So let's just keep drinking for now, because we're still thirsty. And there you go. As you can see, that green circle coming inward, that indicates we're done. We are full. Alright, you know what I'm interested in? Oh, yes. Granite rocks can alter cocos. Let's take a look at this. And it's a new food discovery of a cracked cocoa. So let's drink it and see what happens. And it gave us upset stomach and venom protection, if you're wondering what those symbols are. Okay. Right now, my current priority is to form a couple and have a kid. You know, just like that. Not to be crude, but like the differences of the genders can be seen in their, let's say, pectoral region. So in order to form a couple, there are essentially 3 ages of stuff. There is kids, there is adults, and there are elders. Elder males can still have children. Elder females, I don't believe, can. And you can tell if someone's an elder by their fur color. So this right here is an elder female, and I can inspect her. Elder female single. And we can walk around. This is an elder female coupled with Gur. And if I hit escape, I can see that I am currently Gur. So that is who I'm coupled with. This is an elder female who is single and fertile. I'm going to switch to her. So Gur already has 2 kids. And what's going to be important is that we have multiple lines. Because having only one line, you can't have children in an incest type situation. So if we want to have kids, it's probably best that we don't do it with, here we go, a single male. So let's start the process. First, we groom. Hold right mouse button and release it when it triggers. And we just matured the neuron of communication. There we go. Couple formed. New objective. Identify the jungle's hidden waterfall oasis. But that's not my objective. My objective was to have a kid. So I'm going to call Nee over, and we are going to have more children. I would advise trying to have at least 6 children in your tribe at any given time, with multiple unrelated couples. That's going to be, that's kind of important. New pregnancy. All right. So, Nog is now pregnant. And Nog and Nee's children are completely unrelated to the other children that are in the colony right now. Also, character, this one specifically is a little probably hungry and thirsty. Nope, not thirsty apparently, but hungry. And you gotta be careful, not all the berries are good to eat. If they look rotten, they're probably rotten. Now, another thing to note is the HUD in the bottom right. The bottom right HUD indicates the following. On the left here, I can't really point at it, but the left 3 dots are adults in the colony. There are 3 adults in the colony right now, and one of the adults is holding 2 kids. That is what those yellow dots are. And then there are 2 elders in the colony, which is the top section. And if there were any additional children, they'd be in the bottom right. And that's really important to note because it gives you an idea of like how many individuals there are, what ages there are. And the game doesn't do a great job of explaining that. In that initial cutscene that they were like, yeah, we're not going to help you very much, they weren't kidding. The game wants you to just sort of discover and learn on your own. And it does a great job of it, if I do say so myself. Now here is a fishing spot. And believe it or not, I'm gonna fish. So here we go. I'm gonna alter this stick by grabbing the thing. And, oh, that's not what I meant to inspect. Let's inspect what we caught. We discovered a new food source, a crayfish. Now, your lineage is not able to be able to eat this food. And we will need some sort of genetic mutation in order to integrate that food source. And it caused a food stomach ache, as you can see there. And you can clear food stomach aches and poisonings and the like. Well, not poisonings, but food stomach aches and like rotten berries and stuff like that, indigestion, by drinking water. So I drank water in order to clear that health condition. It's also worth noting, in my opinion, it is better to leave your females protected and to use your males because adult females are the only ones that can breed, whereas adult males and elder males can breed. So adult females are like more important and therefore their lives should not be risked. All right, let's go ahead and switch back to Gur because we learn a lot better with children. And let's see what we've learned so far. We have now learned kinesics, like the ability to gather all the clan members, which is like a sort of a rallying call, which is extremely important. But that's not something we need to learn. It's sort of like a default skill, much like motor skills were. Alright, discovering obsidian. You better believe... Oh, that didn't work out well. Let's try again. And we're failing not because I'm doing it wrong, but because things are hard. Over time, you get better at these actions when you have finer motor controls and better dexterity. So smashing obsidian into oblivion is totally normal early on. And this is our granite grinding tool, so we can't grind obsidian. But as you can see, we just really don't have the fine motor control to nap obsidian yet. Alright. Current priority right now is to explore and expand population. Also, Rory, Xanth, and Arsenal, thank you for the resubs. So everything that we've not yet identified that is in our neighborhood, I want to identify. Because the more we know about our natural environment, the more powerful we get. Knowledge is power. Whoop. It would help if I knew how to jump, though. Grabbing foliage and creepers. So if you hold spacebar, you can like grab things as you jump through it. Alright, this is fiber. And when applied to the skin, it gives you bleeding protection. Think of it as bandages. And this is really important because bleeds are some of the worst things, worst health conditions. Because if you continue bleeding, you just die. So it's a health condition that you need to clear quickly. And as we use discovery tools, we'll get better at those things. Thank you for tuning in to Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I'm not, however, looking for feedback. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow ancestors.